Welcome to Football Soccer, the podcast. I'm Sam Palmer with Tony Taafe. How are you today, Tone?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. The Reds are still top of the league, so I can't complain, obviously.
Big win against the mighty Ipswich.
Yeah, the mighty.
Got to be up there with one of the worst Premiership teams of all time, surely.
Remember the song when we were kids going down with Swindon Town?
Yeah. Going down with Ipswich down.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're not good, are they?
No, they're not good. But I like the manager, though. I do. Like.
So do I.
I know that sounds ridiculous.
And they've got some players there as well with like Delap. I really like. I think.
He's their best player. He's their best player. Yeah.
I think he's going to get a big move, Delap, somewhere. So there is some positives. I don't think they're the worst. I think Southampton are the worst team in the Premier League. I can't even remember one memorable thing that they've done this weekend.
There's no hope for Southampton, is there?
Definitely.
No hope. Zero hope for them. But, yeah, I mean, listen, this is what happens when teams come up, because now what's funny is I think in the last 2 or 3 seasons, teams have come up by playing expansive football in the championship.
Definitely. Leicester under Maresca.
Yeah, whereas teams used to come up because they were the hardest team in the league, in the championship. Yeah. Now they're coming up because they're the best team. And then they come up and they're the worst team. Yeah. You know, so it's not like a Sam Allardyce team or a Sean Dyche team.
Or David Moyes team. Look, David Moyes.
Or a Moyes team, where they could just get a result from somewhere.
And look at Everton, 2 wins on the spin against
I'm happy about
Spurs and Brighton. Like that's two big results for Everton there.
Yeah,
that's not too
one very good team.
Yeah, Brighton. The Spurs are, like I say, they've been it again. I'm literally the happiest man in the world, but so surprised Ange is still in the job. But we saw the fans really turn against Daniel Levy this week, so it's just like a recipe for disaster at Spurs at the moment, isn't it?
It is. I mean, yeah.
Because Leicester, let's be funny. I think Leicester were on 7 losses in a row, and then they've played Spurs and won. I think the last game Leicester won was West Ham, and now they beat Spurs, so which sums up what I've been saying.
I mean,
West Ham, Spurs, and Man United, all the same side.
We say that Spurs have been a recipe for disaster, but they have been for how long? Daniel Levy is untouchable at that club. That's his club, even though he doesn't own it.
He's still got 20-odd%, I think.
Yeah, no, I think he does, but he doesn't own it. It's what's his name?
Joe Levy.
Joe
Lewis.
Joe Lewis. Yeah. He's a hedge fund fella, isn't he? So he owns it, obviously, but I don't know. We spoke about this last week. Yeah, I'm going to start calling him Teflon. Remember the Teflon Don?
Yeah.
Who was the Teflon Don? Remember who it was?
Yeah, bigger the
John Gotti.
Gambino. John Gotti. Sorry, John Gotti.
Was the Teflon.
Sorry, lost me head.
He's Teflon Dan.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
he's going nowhere. That lad. He's good to go as long as he's making his boss money. So, but
yeah, and look, I suppose on a business sense, Spurs they've got the best training ground, but they haven't got the best team. Can you keep blaming the manager? They've had Jose, they've had Conte, they've had Nuno. What's funny is I saw the stat this week. I don't know if you've seen it. Nuno's 4th in the league or wherever they are. Conte's top in with Napoli, and Mourinho's 2nd with Besiktas.
Yeah,
so
I did. Yeah.
They can't all be terrible managers. What Spurs are having. There's clearly a bigger problem, and I think the fans are on it now, and they clearly want Levy out. I don't agree with Ange though. With keep doing the same because they're just getting ripped apart.
I don't either.
And
but
do you know what's funny? I've got in my notes this week about watching the Premiership. Something I think there's a revolution brewing in the Premiership because we saw things this weekend that you very rarely see anymore, and that was Man City playing long ball, which was quite interesting. 2 of their goals came from long balls from Ederson up to Haaland. There was a bit in the game where obviously City played that stop-start football where Gundogan put his foot on the ball and went backwards, and Pep went absolutely ballistic to get it forward quicker because he saw Chelsea were playing such a high line, which was silly, and they kept got caught. And then the next time it went back, it went straight from Ederson, flick on from De Bruyne, Haaland was in. But I noticed in quite a few games, we saw a bit of old school football. West Ham, Villa, we saw a big deep cross to the back post, big header. Spurs, we saw Richarlison score like an old centre forwards header. It's clattered into the post after. I think Brentwood, big crossfield ball header. It was a weird weekend for the Premiership, but not something that we usually see at the moment. It wasn't all tippy tappy.
I think that's a moment in time rather than something that's going to happen going forward. Because these managers, all these managers. Pep's not going to become a long ball merchant, is he? You know?
No, but then maybe he's looked at it and thought, well, if everyone's playing my system, I'll play the counter system to it all of a sudden and we'll win. It was City's most convincing win in a while.
Yeah, I mean, but also, don't forget, everybody hated, not everybody, people who didn't support Liverpool disliked Jurgen Klopp's style of football. Klopp was 50-50 about throwing it out from the back and just throwing it long. That's why he bought Salah and Mane, and because he knew as long as Alisson had the ball, he could launch it forward to them with pinpoint accuracy. I don't know. I don't think people like this style of football more than they let on. I think they actually dislike it.
I think people now, we've seen it for a few years, and it's like, it's a bit boring now, and I think a lot of people are bored with it.
Well, that's why they've said Pep has killed football. Obviously, being very dramatic, Pep has killed football because it's boring. But listen, but at the same time, mate, if boring wins your stuff, who cares?
Exactly.
Like
you don't mind playing boring if I'm sure City fans
in the world.
Exactly. City fans were not upset that they're winning everything, trebles and things like that. They're not worried about that at all.
Not at all. And I wouldn't be either if I was.
If you're a Spurs fan and you're watching your team playing it out from the back time and time again and keep getting caught, probably is a bit boring.
Do you know what? I don't even like the playing it out from the back. That's one thing, but the crazy thing about Spurs is when there's a counter and the ball reaches over the halfway line, for some reason the opposition team seem to they not literally, but they seem to have double the players.
Well, do you know? I'm glad you said that because I watched
Spurs
it. Spurs are not getting back. Because they've committed so many people forward
that they've
got no midfield. It's absolutely crazy.
It's bananas.
It's like the bare basics of football.
Yeah, we obviously, me and you have a couple of WhatsApp groups and WhatsApp groups and stuff like that. And I said in one of them, a decent Sunday league team would score against Spurs.
100%. Because ultimately, the rules of football, you can never have 2 versus 1, right? You'll get away with it 3 out of 10 times. But 7 of those times, you'll get punished. So you'll get away with it here and there, like a bad ball or something, bad touch, or a defender gets it. But you can't win a game of football against more men. It is physically impossible. So if they're doubled up, it's very easy. You just do triangles around you, you're done. And that's what's happening with Spurs. They're not getting done by intricate plays or anything like that. They're just getting done with men, ball into the box. Like there was a keeper mistake again, where the keeper fumbled it and it's gone in. Yeah. But these are like Jamie Vardy. What a player Jamie Vardy is, by the way. Do you see his shithousery as well?
Yeah, with his celebration.
When he scored, he pointed to the old Premiership badge, gave it 1 and it went 0. Jamie Vardy he's like the ultimate fans player, isn't he?
How old is he now, Jamie Vardy?
He's 39.
He looks and feels like he's 52, but he's younger than us.
He's been around forever. I suppose he had a later start into football, so maybe that's helped him.
Yeah, because he came through is he the only player that's ever gone through every single division?
Yeah, he's one of those, isn't he? I can't think where was he? Fleetwood, where Jamie Vardy, somewhere like that.
I think that's Fleetwood,
one of them.
But I think he's the only player who's played in every single division, or maybe the only player who scored in every single division.
I don't know if he played and scored in every division. You'd think because of his position, he probably is.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. I think maybe people can tell us. Like,
if you know that, let us know.
Yeah, correct us if we're wrong, but I think he might be the only player who's ever played and scored in every single division.
Incredible.
But yeah,
it's amazing what he's still doing. He's still got the pace. He's still scoring. I bet he's still scored 5 or 6 goals. I'm going to have a look now. I bet he's still scored 5 or 6 goals this year, and he's not starting every week. But what a career, what a player for Leicester as well. Like he's been, there you go. Premier League, that's Premier League. 7 goals, 3 assists.
And that's this season, 7 goals?
That's 7 goals, 3 assists this season.
That's more than
pretty good.
Solanke,
then he's got, you are?
I said, I think that's more than Dominic Solanke. I think that's what he's done for Spurs, I think.
That's an incredible amount of goals for someone his age. And you don't see him waning off. But Van Nistelrooy, I think he was looking like he was a bit on the ropes up until this week. So he needed that win.
Looked like he was done. I was surprised.
7 losses in a row. Yeah. Leicester don't look good, I've got to say. And I still worry about them.
I think they'll go down.
Wolves also, because it looks like the most in-demand player at the transfer window is Cunha at apparently there's up to 5 clubs in for him. If Wolves lose him, they are done, I think. Because I think he's
pretty much the only player that can...
Him and the left back, I think, Ait-Nouri, which I think is another one that a few people are looking at. But if you get rid of those, they just lost that Gomez to a sending off this week against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We'll have a quick break, and when we come back, we'll discuss Arsenal and refereeing. Welcome back to Football or Soccer, where I wanted to discuss, straight into it, refereeing decisions. We've left off of referees for a while. We've left off of VAR, but I think it is time to speak about it after what can only be described as the most, I think, ridiculous refereeing decision I've seen in a long time against... Now... Arsenal fans, they're absolute crybabies about everything, aren't they? They literally cry their eyes out.
They're a gang of tarts.
They're the worst, aren't they?
Did you see the comments on our post?
Yeah, because we've had a dig at the set piece coach being out there.
Set piece coach.
Oh, well, we score goals from it, man. It's like, oh, shut up, you absolute tarts. It's like Arsenal fans, they're an embarrassment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'll say about Arsenal fans? They're the most unoriginal fans in the world. All they do is steal every other team's song. Do you know what? When I hear...
They do.
Ole, which I will say, that is also not a Liverpool song. But it was Liverpool brought it to the Premiership.
I mean, it's not even English. Never mind.
Well, it's actually, do you know who it was? I actually read the history of it because I wanted to get it right. It's actually a Napoli song. No, sorry.
Really?
It was an Italian lower league team, and Napoli took it from them. It was a very low league Italian team, but that's where it came from originally.
Yeah.
But Arsenal fans steal absolutely every song. Like, they always nick West Ham's one. Payet was we've got Dimitri Payet and we've got Mika Teta. That was David Moyes' song. They just steal everything. They're like a gang of Turkish thieves down in Arsenal. They're like, that's all they are. They are. That's all they are. Turkish thieves. But there's nothing original. But they get on your back about everything. You say anything about Arsenal, and they all go mad. And that's what makes it even worse, even better. That they're the biggest bottlers the Premier League's ever seen.
Yeah.
So it was. But I know they've been going mad about because Declan Rice got sent off earlier in the year for kicking the ball away. So they've been going mad about the refs on their back.
Oh yeah.
Well,
was that only this year? It feels like they've been
and Trossard
about that
got sent off for it as well.
They're a gang of tarts. Arsenal fans are a gang of tarts.
But I am going to agree with them.
But it's funny.
Miles
about
Lewis
that
Skelly,
decision?
that decision
Yeah.
is outrageous.
Yeah.
What's even more outrageous?
Listen, he knew what he was doing, though. He
No,
knew what he
it's a
was doing.
foul.
It was intentional, but it's not a red card.
So on the edge of his own 18-yard box, he's got 90 yards to goal, and there's two players covering. Now, so that is outrageous. But what is even more outrageous is you've got an assistant referee, VAR, assistant
and none
VAR.
None of them said. I think you might have
hang on a minute here, because what I think. So I've saw on TV what they think Michael Oliver thought was that he put his studs down his Achilles,
which is fine for him to think that, but that's why
or it's over
VAR.
the top or something like that, because you only see in a split second, right? That's why we have VAR. But for it to go to VAR and them agree with that sending off, what is the point of VAR now?
Do you know what? I don't even think it was an issue of agreeing with it. I just think they didn't want to disagree with Michael Oliver. I think because he's the main man, isn't he? Yeah, no, that's what they're there to do. But Michael Oliver is the main man.
That's what I'm saying. What is the point in having VAR if they can't get it right?
If they can't
that
overrule,
bit there was exactly what it was put in there for getting if you got something wrong or you missed something. But I've got to be honest with you, I don't think we're ever going to scrap it, but I think it's now time to get rid of this VAR. It doesn't work. It's a waste of time. We've tried it now for years. The referee, I think refereeing standards have gone massively down. I don't ever remember refereeing being this bad because I think now everyone waits for VAR. Yeah, we've got the offside automated coming in. I think that's probably next season. It must be close because they had it in the World Cup. So it.
Yeah, what do you mean the offside? Offside,
so you're going to have that. You're going to have goal line technology, and I think we need to agree now. Football is not black and white. It's never going to be. VAR will never be black and white. There's grey areas in football that are down to interpretation. I think there's going to be mistakes. I think we're in Premier League where there's more money than ever, and I think the refereeing standard is at an all-time low for a top league.
It's outrageous. I completely agree. Yeah,
but
they're not going to get rid of VAR, so it's almost a wasted conversation because it's not going to happen. It is better than what it was. To be fair, there's a lot less kickoffs this year than what was last year. A lot less
with the penalty, isn't there? It seems they're kind of getting the penalties a bit better.
But also what's not helping them is that they changed the handball rules every few weeks.
I could not tell you what handball is.
Exactly. Is it intentional?
Do you know what? There was one in the West Ham game where
I
think it's Souček has a shot and Tielemans goes like that and it does hit him. And it was right. It weren't handball because it was like a fraction of a second. He's gone like that. That's your natural reaction. Hit him there.
If he did this and threw his arm out somewhere or even threw his elbow out somewhere, then that's handball. But I don't even know whether it is now, to be honest with you. I have no idea.
I don't know. No, I have no idea what handball is anymore. I do think VAR has been a big reason of decline of the game because it slows it down. You don't know when your team scored. You don't know if it's any good. You don't get that natural reaction. Just leave it down to the linesman and the and the referee. Is my opinion. I think some of the decisions we're seeing are absolutely ridiculous. To be fair, in the West Ham game yesterday, Edson Alvarez takes a booking, then does exactly what Skelly does, exactly to the T. Threw him over, no booking. Now, it should be a sending off.
It's inconsistent. I think that's what annoys people more than anyone
Skelly,
else.
actually, he's got a straight red for it, not two bookings.
Right, yeah. And then this one wasn't even a booking.
Wasn't a booking, but it was. It should have been a booking, 100%.
It should have been, but it wasn't. But
100%.
Then
He should have gone.
Card, the other one's not even a booking, apparently.
So it's just so inconsistent.
Makes no sense. Yeah.
To be in a top league in the world like that and it be that inconsistent is not on. It's not on at this
No, I agree. Yeah.
There's enough young fellas out there that could be refs, and we've still getting these older guys that are not as mobile and like things like that. They need to be younger guys within.
Do you think though, mate? Because the I'm going to be careful how I word it, but when we were kids playing football, right? When we were, I mean,
Well, it
we
wasn't
were
cool to
probably
be a
what?
referee, was it?
It wasn't cool to be a referee, but every single referee when we were kids was like, let's say when we was started probably playing when we were 6 or 7, Sunday
Yeah.
league, Saturday league, Sunday league, up until whenever. Every referee was an old fella, or
Old
it was
man.
just,
Old
or it was just someone on the other team's
dad or,
line
yeah,
that, yeah,
granddad
because
or...
the ref didn't show up or something like that. And then as I started to get older, I started to notice more younger refs come
Yes.
in.
Especially when I lived in Australia and played football out there, refs were getting a lot younger.
Yeah, I wonder now though whether we're seeing not the effect, but I would actually also say the benefit of referees starting when they were like 17, 18. Because
Yeah.
like even I remember when I was 12, and if a ref was only 4 or 5 years older than me, we'd be calling him a grass. We'd be
Yeah,
like, yeah, oh
exactly.
yeah,
It's funny, no one wanted to be a ref, do they?
yeah, yeah. But
But actually,
now
when you think of it, it's actually quite a nice career to go into. If you're a
well,
young
it
guy,
is.
you
But
love
the
football.
abuse that these lads get now from
I see they put a big statement out yesterday because
it's
apparently asked
outrageous, mate.
the
But
idiots who on earth goes on to like an Instagram page
grown
and
men,
starts
grown men.
abusing like people and their family and like
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 this lad's got young kids, Michael Oliver. He's got young kids,
exactly.
and
He's made a
obviously he's got.
mistake.
Listen,
But actually, that's
I
what's
get
even
annoyed
worse
at
about
refs.
this. He's had VAR there sitting behind him that has
Yeah,
allowed him to carry on mistake, whereas it could have
yeah,
all been finished in a minute and no one would have said nothing else
yeah.
about it.
I think that sort of stuff is going to stop referees at a age when they should be going into refereeing. I think it's going to stop them doing it because they're going to be thinking, "Fuck that!
Yeah, who wants the
That's not
ag?
worth it." Yeah, yeah. For what? A
Especially, it's
grand a
not
week or
really
whatever they
where you
get paid.
finish. It's where you have to start, like in the Sunday League parks against some nutcase
Yeah,
screaming and shouting at
some
you,
banana,
like
some
wants to
fella
headbutt you or something like
who
that.
owns the local nightclub who wants to run on and
Yeah,
kick off.
geezer with a dog standing
what
on the
it.
side and all that. Like that's the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
like,
which
but that's what I mean. So
we've all
that's where you
seen
have
it.
to start, really. So it's
Yeah,
that's the problem. But
yeah.
I think we need to look at VAR. I say I'm bored of it. I don't want to talk about it too much. But Arsenal, to be fair to them, in the game they went and dug out that win. Obviously, they had Gomez sent off foolishly. He was already on a booking. Then when they made a stupid tackle up the other end again. Wolves have got a bit of a disciplinary problem at the minute, I think, and they can't keep losing big players. That's him suspended for a week.
Makes Gary O'Neill look a lot better than what it seemed.
Yeah, who do you think? Who's your three that go down this year? I think it's 3 out of 4 this year, isn't it? I think
Sa-
it's
Southampton are toast, aren't they?
Southampton are
Southampton are
gone,
done.
Ipswich are gone for me,
I don't, yeah, I would say probably, but I hope they don't go down.
and then it's
In the
between Leicester and who's the other team in the bottom three?
Wolves,
Sorry, Leicester and Wolves. That's what I'm thinking of.
yeah,
Yeah. Leicester and
yeah.
Wolves. I think Everton with David Moyes will definitely be out of this. I really
They're
do.
fine.
I hope they do.
Everton are
I
good
think
to
you're going
go
to see
there.
Everton finish closer to 10th than they do the bottom this year with Moyes in.
Yeah, yeah.
And especially if he brings in a couple of players. Although it's weird, we haven't seen many players come in, and we've only got a few days left in the
Well,
transfer window.
it's because everyone's terrified of PSR, aren't they?
Yeah,
All the
and
clubs,
obviously I've got to
even
say the
Man
striker.
United. Man United are probably the second richest club in the world. They can't spend
Oh,
money without selling someone. It's bananas.
talking of Man United, old Amorim, he comes out. He's like he's a media man's dream now, isn't he? Like he comes out with
Oh
something
yeah, he likes
every
it. He
week.
likes a good. He likes a
He
good.
loves a line, doesn't he? He gives
He
him a
like
line every week now.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
obviously discussing Marcus Rashford again, and he
yeah.
said, "Look, he don't train right. I'd rather put the 60-year-old goalkeeper coach in instead of him." Quite funny, but actually quite disgraceful
I mean,
Marcus
it's pretty
Rashford.
outrageous. It's pretty
You know
outrageous.
what, though? But he's not relenting on it, and he's obviously saying this kid doesn't put the effort in, so he's not coming back in. He might be putting it out there.
Do you know what? Do you know what I think, mate? Is that Amarin has gone in there and seen decent coaches / managers, whatever you want to call them, just be absolutely slayed by those players, because even as far as back as Mourinho and
Van Gaal, Rangnick,
Van
David
Gaal,
Moyes.
I mean,
Ollie.
they were, exactly, and it was pretty much the players that got all of those managers the bullet, wasn't it?
Yeah, because look, Mourinho, it was really Pogba and Martial, I think, was the big thing, because he wanted to get rid of them both, and the club chose them over him. Ultimately, both were slung out the club anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then what I think, or what I would actually like to think, is before he took the job, Amarin said, listen, if I'm going to do this, I'm the main man here.
Yeah.
You can sell any player that I tell you to sell, but I'm the main man, because he's seen better managers than him, by the way, or at least more experienced managers than him, just be kicked out by the players. And I would like to think that's what's happening with him, because he's not fucking around. Like he's saying, that with the worst
it's going to be a long process with this. Yeah. Do you know what's really funny is what's hilarious with this Marcus Rashford thing, how it's all unfolded. So he was holding out for Barcelona. Apparently Barcelona have not even made contact with Manchester United. They've got, we know they can't register players.
They're also skint.
So they're not, let's just say they're not in it. And then Dortmund were the next favourite. Now, what is hilarious that's coming out of Dortmund today is they think the next manager now is going to be Eric Ten Hag. So that has just done Rashford's deal. Because there's no way, obviously, he's taking Rashford.
They got rid of Nuri Sahin, wasn't he? He used to play for Liverpool, like that lad. So, he was a good player, him, by the way.
So Ten Hag is going in at Dortmund. So that has just seen Rashford's deal go up with smoke. I'm hearing today that he would be willing to go to Spurs or West Ham. So basically, but I hope West Ham do go nowhere near this kid.
No, if I was a West Ham fan, I wouldn't want him.
And we are desperate for a striker. But
he's not. He's not even a striker. He's a left winger.
Exactly, which we don't need because we've got Kudos there or Somerville. So I actually think who are both better than him. So, I hope we go Spurs. And look, what he'd do, he could be a Jesse Lingard effect, and that's where you would look. If Man United were paying his wages, then I would take him. I'd take him.
Oh, well, of course, because that's something for free, But
if they're going to take his wages, then we badly need reinforcements. So, and we could play him down the middle. But
there's no way he's going to go anywhere unless he's told, you're going to be our main man, because he's not going to go to, with all respect to West Ham and Spurs, he's not going to leave. Not playing.
Well, I don't think he's got any other option at the minute.
Well, he can stay. Well, I mean, if he goes to West Ham or Spurs and doesn't play,
no. At West Ham or Spurs,
playing.
He plays without a doubt. 100%.
So?
Yes. At West Ham, up down the middle, we've got no striker. We've got no one.
But he doesn't play down the middle, though. He doesn't play down the middle, and
he did. He played a year down the middle and scored 30 goals. So he has played down the middle. 1 year. I am not a Marcus Rashford fan in any way, shape, or form. I think he's a waster. But I'm saying if he was free, he would definitely play at West Ham and Spurs. We're on the same level as Man United. If he came with the right attitude. But obviously he hasn't got the right attitude. He's putting out posts of let's go training and all this crap and all. But you're at the biggest club in the world who your family will support, and you've been since you're a baby.
Grew up.
And you can't be bothered.
I think he was 6 or something. He's a baby when he went there.
It makes no sense at all with this guy. No. But it did really make me laugh that Eric Ten Hag is probably going to block his move by going to Borussia Dortmund. So
I mean, listen,
I don't doubt that Ten Hag will do an all right job at Dortmund. Maybe it's just this Manchester United is poison.
It's a different world. The Premier League in general, but especially Man United, is a different world. But I also don't want to seem like we're taking the piss out of Rashford too much because, the last thing you need when you're having a hard time is people, kicking you.
No, I suppose I am
but
doing that.
no, well, I am too. But at the same time, like there's no way in the world I don't think he could be doing better than what he's doing. There's no way.
And you know what? That's the point, right? Your form is secondary to what we're talking about. We're not talking about your form. We're talking
It's
about
the attitude.
turning up to your job, looking right, looking smart, trying your hardest. Effort costs nothing.
Yeah.
And that is as simple as that.
And the reason why we all
and having
know
a bit of
that's
respect
not
for the
happening.
people that pay your wages, which are the fans and the club.
Even your teammates,
Yeah.
have a bit of respect for them. Like, don't let them down. Even if you don't have respect for yourself, have respect
and
for
we're
them.
commenting like we know, but it does sound like that is the exact case.
Well,
the manager's really coming out saying that now.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I
can't
imagine he's lying.
No, well, I mean, it's not even just one manager, it's multiple managers. So it's clear that that's obviously the case. But we can also see it on the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. The body language.
People are walking with the ball 5 yards in front of him, and he's barely even looking at the ball.
And the answer is, to him, if you don't like football, don't get another job.
Yeah.
Leave football.
Yeah. There are plenty of factories in Manchester.
Want to be a coach, but go and be a doctor if that's what you want to do, or like anything. But no one's forcing you to play football. They're paying you an extreme amount of money to do it. So it's a privilege.
Correct.
Unfortunately, there comes a bit of responsibility with getting 350 grand a week. The same as if you were the chairman of JP Morgan on a few million a year and things like that. You can't turn up to work
if you don't perform,
in a beanie and put your feet on the desk and all that. They'd say, out you go, mate. It's simple as that. It's
absolutely.
Unfortunately, with big salaries comes big responsibilities. So he's got to look at himself.
I wouldn't even say unfortunately. I'd say fortunately.
God, and you're talking about
that's
effort. Turning up on time.
You're there.
Being respectful to everyone. That stuff is a character trait, not anything to do with your footballing ability.
Yeah.
And he
absolutely.
Can't get it right.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
So
I don't have a lot of sympathy for him. I don't have a lot of sympathy for him, but I have a smidge where I would imagine he's probably not feeling too good about himself, but kind of tough shit, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that is where he is. We're not. I thought talking of new signings, I thought the new City forward looked very lively. I don't know, is it Marush, something like that? I don't know his name.
I'm not sure. I'd never heard of him before.
He came from Frankfurt. He looks so lively, I've got to say. And then, obviously, debut to remember was the centre half. Was up there with one of the worst debuts you'll ever see. Oh, my God.
What was it, 3 minutes? Was it in the third minute that Chelsea scored? Yeah.
He jumped for the header, gets out he jumps to the wrong leg, then goes to head it back, misses it, and Jackson comes in and Madueke scores. But, my God, what a howler of a debut. Welcome to the Premier League. I saw Pep weren't too hard on him. He said, listen, sometimes that's the best thing that can happen to you in the Premier League. You learn from it. And it is that. Look, it's unlucky. He's probably nervous as hell.
The same, wasn't he? Hernandez had a Hernandez.
Who's Hernandez?
The lad who plays for United.
Martinez, fucking Hernandez. I'm thinking, look, Chicharito.
I'm thinking Chicharito, But he was the same.
Do you remember? Because they were saying he was too small. Graham Souness was big on him when he saying he was too small.
No,
I think Evra also.
It was Carragher who said he was too small.
And Souness used to always say this geezer's too small.
Did he?
Evra, I think, at Man City was hooked in the first half or at half time on his debut for Man United. He had a howler. So they had a few. They saw a few different ones where they had howlers. But it's not nice to see. But look, it is what it is. He made a mistake, but Man City come back. They look good, I've got to say. Talking of howlers, was the keeper Sanchez. My God.
I saw a couple of fans saying he's the worst keeper in the Premier League, which
I,
might be a
I,
stretch,
I
but
think it's
I
very
think
harsh,
he's
to
in
be
the
honest with you, because
conversation.
I've seen some of the saves he's made this season. He's made the most errors out of goalkeepers leading to goals. I think it's 5 or 6 from a keeper, which is a lot considering you're at a top team. I
Yeah,
don't think he's a top goalkeeper, that's for
no,
sure.
no.
But I don't think he's the worst goalkeeper because I've seen like Ipswich's goalie, Ramsdale, etc., keep passing the ball out
Ramsdale,
from the
what's
back.
happened to Ramsdale, by the way?
He's at Southampton. I think that was such
I
a
know, I
bad
know
move for
that,
him.
but I mean, he was decent though.
He was
He
decent,
did.
and Arsenal
He
fans,
was
if you remember,
challenging
went mad at Arteta
Pickford
for
for England.
replacing him with Raya. They went ballistic
Yeah,
about
I
it.
know. Yeah, yeah. Because Raya didn't actually. Talking of bad starts, Raya
He
didn't
was
have the best
awful to
start to
start, wasn't he?
Arsenal. Yeah,
Because if you remember,
but
he was playing Ramsdale one week, Raya the next week, and
yeah. And he was
it was
like,
the chop
maybe I'll
change, wasn't it?
change them. Maybe I'll substitute one. And it's like, mate,
Yeah.
you're being daft.
But
Yeah.
so Sanchez, I don't think he's the worst goalkeeper at all. I think I've seen him have some good performances. I've seen him make some brilliant saves, but I don't know what the hell he was doing against City. Like when he was miles out the box, he was all over the place.
I mean, he's pretty. I wouldn't say he's the worst, but he's not in the top 15. Like he's not good. But he's down there. He's down
Yeah,
there
he's
as the
not. He's
worst,
not.
one of the worst.
Chelsea need with Chelsea's back line and keeper. They will never. They need to improve that. Like they've brought back in
Especially the
Chalobah
keeper.
now.
Especially the keeper.
Yeah,
Because
but even their
the
centre
the,
halves, they've
the
got Colwill and Chalobah. Chalobah was on loan at Palace, and they've just recalled him, and now he's starting centre half for them.
bananas.
They've obviously got injuries in that position. Cucurella's had a good season in that left back position, but they haven't got a defence that can be challenged in the league. I don't think.
No,
Are they not?
no.
When you look at like Van Dijk and
What would you
Konate,
rather have, right? If you were like in a top three club, would you rather have the best centre half in the league or the best goalie in the league?
best centre half.
Really?
Yeah, I think
I'd rather have the
half.
best goalie. I'd rather have the best keeper. I've seen Liverpool have the best centre halves in the league.
I don't care what you could say. If Liverpool had Max Kilman and Mickey van der Ven in front of them, in front of Alisson, they're going to leak goals all over the place.
True, but think of it the other way, right? Remember the Champions League final we watched against Madrid, and we had Van Dijk. Who was centre half for Van Dijk in that game?
No, but you're talking about.
No, we didn't have Kelleher. No, it was the German fella.
That's what Karius. Sorry, that's what I meant. Sorry,
Karius, Loris Karius. But
yes, but you're talking about the worst goalkeeper in the league. Yeah, he's the worst goalkeeper in the league.
No, but I'm saying what my question was: would you rather have the best goalie or the best centre halves? We had at that time the best centre half in the league. And also,
but you didn't. What I mean is, if you had an average goalie or an above-average goalie, which Liverpool should have, then you'd be all right. You had
was average,
the worst keeper in the league. He was fucking useless, Karius.
He wasn't the worst though.
He was dog shit. Remember, he was making mistake after mistake.
He was poor, but he wasn't the worst.
Whatever happened to Karius?
He's at I think he's back in Germany now. I think
Stoke Newington or somewhere like that.
I don't know who he's playing for. Where I keep seeing stories about Karius is the Mail love posting stories about him and his missus, because his missus is some like German supermodel or German TV presenter or something like that. I mean, he's a good-looking lad. You would probably expect it.
Goalkeeper, but good looking.
Yeah, but a good-looking lad obviously earns a few bob. But I think he's back in Germany. I think he is. But I keep just seeing stories of him pop up on the Mail online. So, but yeah, I mean, I would rather have the best goalie in the league than the best centre half in the league, because the best goalie will help your centre half. The best centre half can't help your goalie.
I think with a goalkeeper as bad as that. But yeah, as I say, keepers in the Premiership now are pretty poor. Onana, we've covered before. Like they're not top keepers like they were years ago. I don't think. When you look through the leagues of keepers that were through the leagues, I think probably they were better. But it's very different. They want them to play with their feet now. So. Get back to the old long balls, and then you can just get back in your Neville Southballs and your David James big old bomb up there. That's all you need. I remember David James. He used to kick that ball so far. He used to be able to throw the ball really far as well, like over the halfway line.
He did actually. Yeah, that's true.
Schmeichel as well. He was another one that could throw that ball so far.
Do you know who else had a great throw on him? Was Brucey Grobler. Remember Grobler?
Yeah, he did as well, didn't he? Yeah, he did.
He was one of the first goalies that I ever saw do overhand throw that would go into the other half.
The old cheat.
Yeah.
He was in a betting syndicate when he Bruce Grobler with Hans Sagers, was it? No.
Hans Sagers. No.
Was it Hans Sagers?
The Wimbledon goalie. Yeah.
They were in like a betting syndicate or something.
I think so. I think we need to be careful before we say that. We should
cover that one. Do you remember when everyone was chucking coins at Grobler and he went out with? He was at Southampton at the time, I think, and he went out with a cap.
And was
kipping.
That's right. Yeah.
He was a nutcase, actually, Grobler, wasn't he?
I mean, all goalies. Have you ever met a goalie that's not a nutcase?
Was he Liverpool's goalkeeper through like the 80s when they were?
Yeah. So we had. I think he came into Liverpool in the mid 80s. Before him, I don't know whether he directly took over from Clements or...
Oh, Ray Clements, that's who was Liverpool's main goalkeeper, wasn't it?
In the 70s and early 80s, yeah.
I mean, Grobler, I suppose, was like 90. And then David James took over from Grobler, didn't he?
Yeah, well, David James come in...
And Tony Warner. Now, there's a shout.
Tony Warner was... the sub goalie when David James was there, because they looked very alike as well.
Yeah,
they did.
Tony Warner. I mean, he played for Millwall. Tony Warner after.
I think he did. I think you're right.
I don't know how I even know that. Like, do you know that?
I don't know how you know that. Yeah, because if you would have asked me that, I wouldn't have remembered. So I don't know how you know it.
Quiz that one. So it Yeah, funny Grobler, mad one. I think we should do a nostalgia episode, I think, where we go back and look at something. We should look at a team like Wimbledon, because Wimbledon were just they're such a great case study for like Premier League. And they stayed in the Premiership for all them years. Like,
so you've got John Fashanu, Vinnie Jones. Did Vinnie Samways play for Wimbledon or not?
No, Everton. Everton and Spurs,
Wait,
I think.
He played for Spurs as well, yeah.
Yes, Spurs, I think. Yeah, I don't know if he was Everton, actually. It was definitely Spurs. But yeah, no, we'll cover that. But what we'll do is we're going to wrap up here. What have we got on this week? Who's Liverpool got this week?
We've got Bournemouth away. Big game.
We got Chelsea away, I think we have, next Monday.
It's Arsenal City this weekend, by the way.
Oh, big one.
Yeah. At City, I think.
I'm going City win.
I hope you're right. Yeah.
I think City win. They put in a few players.
I'm going Arsenal win.
Oh, big call. All right, we're up against it. I've got to go. I've got to get to work. I hope everyone has a fantastic week listening to this. We're going to have the two other shithouses next to us hopefully next week. Dyson and Sam. I don't know what they're up to. Both in bed together, I reckon. Right. I will see you all later. Take care.
See you, folks.